Okay, hey, thanks everyone for coming tonight. Blaine is coming down with a little bit of a cold. He's losing his voice a little bit, but he's going to try to get through the program. And if not, I'm going to hop up and try to take over for him. But hopefully he'll be able to get through most of it anyway. This is our next to last program for the year, so we have one more. First Wednesday in September, I forget what day of the month that is, but anyway, next month. At 6 o'clock, we have our annual potluck supper, and then we have our business meeting. We'll have a short business meeting, and then we'll have a program at 7 o'clock on Stanley Foss Bartlett, who is a poet and writer who lived in Greenwood and had a camp on North Pond that we talked about last year. We're going to talk, I think, about his first camp tonight, right? That's part of this program. Yeah, Limberlost. Yeah. So hopefully we'll see you all back next month for that. And we do still have open houses every Saturday from 9 to noon. Through the month of August, we'll continue to have those, and so if you haven't been by yet to look at the new railroad exhibit, you should make a point to stop. Thanks.
One thing that always amazed me when I was a kid, one thing that always amazed me as a kid, or at least it used to crack me up, was that the local people called any second home a camp. But the summer people from away were horrified to call their place a camp. It was a cottage. I'm just curious, how many people here have camps on the pond? How many of you have names on your camps? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a fad that's gone by. You see very few camps today with names on them. In the early days, almost every camp was named. History of the Alder River Ponds. We know the Native Americans were here first. There was a site uncovered on the Big Island at the road camp back in the 20s. And there was a site at Abbott's Anchorage. And the last Indian artifact discovered was an Indian arrowhead right where the new Legion Hall is today. When the first settlers came here to the Locks Mills area, the only way in and out of here was a trapper's trail. It pretty much went where the East Bethel Road goes today. And the place was considered a howling wilderness. The ponds in the early days before the dam were all here. They were just much smaller. Instead of being flooded into each other, they were connected with brooks. In 1816, saw a number of forest fires set by lightning around the ponds. And they were fast-moving fires, and much of the timber was scorched, but the trees didn't burn. They were still standing, and the wood was still good. And 1817, Samuel B. Locke bought most of the land around these ponds with the idea of cutting the timber up before it rotted. In 1819, he started his dam and sawmill about 300 feet above the current dam. In 1821, saw the first settlers on Bird Hill, the Gore Road, up on Mount Abram, and out on East Bethel Road. In 1841, the first mill was burned flat, and the dam and mill was moved downstream, and it was built higher than the one before. In 1847, the first hotel appeared on the pond up here, the Alder River House. And in 1851, the railroad arrived, and as you can see, they had a lot of work to do. They had to build a number of causeways. The manufacturing of spools was started here in 1870, and there were so many orders, the gate had to be open day and night, and they drained the ponds for so low, they ran out of water. So they had to install a steam engine. In 1872, the hotel burned, and we replaced LLB's father built a new hotel called the Mount Abram House. In 1890, saw the first camps on the ponds. We covered the early camps last year at this time. In 1905, saw many more new camps. And the water levels were becoming quite a issue. The campers would come up and open their camp up Memorial Day, and because everybody had a flat bottom rowboat, nobody caulked them. The bottom boards were built about 1/8 of an inch apart. So they put the flat bottom rowboat in to swell it up, and they come back before the July. There's a mud flat out there. The boat's sitting on the mud, the boards are all opened up. Sometimes you never get to use the boat at all. And this wasn't going down too well. So they finally, the campers and the company come to some sort of an agreement. By 1915, they went to using the steam engine full time. Around 1935, Carroll's Tea Room and Gas Station was operating up here, and they had a marina, sold evergreen outboards, sold boats, and another set of cabins. They had the cabins, and also the Greenwood cabins were operating near Johnny's Bridge. 1964, the campers versus Abbott's Anchorage. Abbott's wanted more beach, and the campers didn't want to drop the water down any lower. And that lasted one whole summer, but finally Abbott lost out to all the campers. 1972, the Sailing Association started on North Pond. 1983, the causeway up here was built to replace the old bridge behind the hub. In 1988, the town purchased the beach down on the Greenwood Road. In 2001, the town took over the dam. In 2004, the dam was refaced. And in 2007, there was another escapade between this time Littlefields Beach and the campers. And the sailing brigade ended in 2012 after 40 years. They ran out of skippers. Young people today don't care anything about sailing, apparently. As Will told you, I've got laryngitis, so I don't know how long I'm going to last, but I'll try. I just hope I don't get coughing. All right, number 18, Skipperwall Cottage. It's on North Pond. It was built in 1905 for Mrs. Dudley. and was rented to the boarders. Mrs. Dudley owned the Dudley Cottage, the summer hotel. The Christies were the last owners of the inn and this cottage. In 1930, the Christies sold the cottage to Theodore Gladding. In 1936, his sister, Mrs. Calder, had the cottage modernized. The heir sold it to Walter Schumann in 1947. By 1971, this cottage was owned by his children and burned several years ago. Number 19. What's that?
That's the cottage that was built to replace it.
Yeah, that's the cottage to replace it. We had no picture of the original. Number 19, Edwin Road Camp. This is right on the point. Just overlooking the sandbar. It was built in 1909. No, I'm sorry. It was in 1909, Clinton Littlefield sold this lot to Edwin Rowe of Jamaica, New York. The old-timers thought it was the most palatial camp ever. It was willed to his widow, Annie Rowe, in 1913. She sold it to Paul Burbank of Berlin, New Hampshire in 1930, and it mysteriously burned. We understand the owner had only left a half an hour and it was fully engulfed. This lot sat vacant for a number of years. And in 1945, Joseph Parker of New Jersey bought the lot and built a new camp on it. In 1976, Joseph Jr. sold the camp to Amy and Jesse Innocent of New Jersey. In 1995, Amy and Jesse sold the camp to the Kaplan Trust. That same year, the trust sold to James Kaplan, who tore down the Parker camp and built a new camp, which was sold in 1996 to Pamela Birch. Number 20, Pine Tops Cottage. Pond. In 1930, the last owners of the Dudley Cottage, Ernest and Edith Christie of Verona, Ventura, California, sold a large lot to Mrs. Dudley's camp, and Mrs. Dudley's camp to a longtime boarder, Theodore Gladding of Bristol, Rhode Island. After the skipper's death, his estate was sold to, after his death, his estate was sold. His camp, Skipper Wall, a large lot to his sisters, Wilhelmina Babcock and Helen Calder. Sometime later, another sister of Skipper, Mary Babcock, hired Clarence Parham to build her a camp on the second lot, which this is, called Pine Tops. In 1958, Mary left Pine Tops to her friend Susan Dodge Smith of Rhode Island. In 1983, Susan's husband, Dr. Byron Smith, sold to Gillis Realty of Bethel. I don't know how many of you live on the head camps on Mount Pond that remember Byron Smith, but he was one of the more colorful characters. His wife would allow him to smoke or drink in the camp. So he had a full bar underneath the camp. Stacks of cigar boxes. About 5 times a day, he'd get in his flat bottom rowboat, light up a stogie, and stack the Lox Mills. And he'd smoke that cigar all the way to Lox Mills and back. And I bet he didn't fool her any, but. Number 21, King Bartlett Camp, Round Pond. In 1925, Abby Trash sold this lot to King Bartlett of Lox Mills. The camp was built that summer. The first outboard motor was at this camp that was owned by King. And I got a note here to tell you the ice cream story. King had a guest, and they took the boat motor to the village to get ice cream. And the Red Toy Store. And on the way home, they went through the railroad trestle, and just on the other side, the motor stalled. And King was cranking and cranking and cranking. It had a crank on the flywheel. There wasn't a rope. There wasn't no rope on it. It was a crank right on the flywheel. And the ice cream was melting. Finally, the thing kicked, and King had a good grip on that crank, and it threw it right over the top of the motor in the pond. So he hollered to the guests in the boat, "Don't shut it off, head for camp." So he swam over the railroad trestle and walked down the tracks. King died in 1952, and the camp was left to his daughter, Gwendolyn. Here's another story. I'm not going to mention any names, but she had a neighbor who had a brother who featured himself a ladies' man. And he walked over the path and was visiting here one day, and he patted her on the back. When he come to, she knocked her right up from the screen door. And he finally stood up and said, "You hurt my feelings," and left. In 1973, Gwendolyn sold her camp to Lee and June Swan. In 1979, the Swan sold the camp to Norman and Jean Miller of Greenland, who still own it today. Number 22, Limberlost Lodge, Round Pond. This is on what was once called Semaphore Island. In 1920, Earl Farrington sold Semaphore Island to Stanley Foss Bartlett. In 1922, Stanley sold his cabin to Ethel Cole. Soon after Ethel acquired Limberlost, she married Harold Cummings. In 1944, Ethel Cummings sold her camp to Helmy and Ellis Cummings of Portland. In 2001, Helmy deeded the camp to Margaret Cook of Wyndham and John Cook of Georgia. Lake Home Cottage, North Pond. This is right next to the Rock. In 1936, Randall Littlefield sold Raiders Island to Frank Packard along the Maine. It's also called Skunk Island. After Frank and Amy passed on, this camp has remained in the Packard family. A little story here. Frank, for years, 40 years, we had regattas every Sunday afternoon on North Pond. And about 1 o'clock, just as the first regatta was getting underway, we could always plan on Frank coming right through the middle of the race, standing up with his coat and tie on, and he and his wife were coming back from church. Number 24. This is the Robin's Nest, North Pond. In 1920, the Days sold this lot to Albion Abbott and Franklin Robbins. In 1930, Stacy Robbins sold the Robbins Nest to Eddie Abbott of Parrish. In 1943, Addie sold her cottage to Emil Hackenen of Woodstock. Laura Hackenen inherited the Robbins Nest. In 1969, Laura deeded the cottage to Vina and Eleanor Hackenen. Number 25, Lakeside Cottage, from North Pond. This was on the Old Gore Road. In 1922, the Days sold a very large lot to Franklin Robbins of West Parish. That same year, Robbins sold a smaller lot to Ethel Cole. That same year, Ethel married Harold Cummings. In 1923 or 24, Cummings hired Ellen Bacon to build this cottage. The company also owned Little House Lodge on Round Pond. In 1947, the company sold Lakeside to Albert and Bernice Perkins of Gorham, New Hampshire. Bernice left this cottage to Colleen Hamlin of Nashville, New Hampshire. In 1993, Colleen sold Lakeside to Heather and Timothy Waugh of Exeter, New Hampshire. Number 26, Packard Camp. This was on North Pond. In 1931, Sarah Knight and Florence Mead sold this lot to Mansfield Packard, who soon built this camp. Mansfield made the lighthouse for many years. He and his brother Frank maintained an old underwater telephone line out to Frank's, or Skunk Island, under the lake. In 1991, Mansfield sold his camp to Harold and Mona Wheeland and Daniel and Susan DeWeaver and Jeffrey Santino, I guess it is, all of New Jersey. Number 27, Archer Camp. North Pond, 1998. Frank Bean sold this lot to Wayne Blake of Berlin, New Hampshire. In 1939, Blake sold this lot to Edward Archer of Berlin. In 1940, Mr. Archer and his brother-in-law, William Marsh, built this camp. The Archer's children and grandchildren still enjoy summer here. Number 28, Lion Camp, North Pond. In 1927, Frank Bean sold this lot to Oscar Wyman of Rumford. The camp was built in 1937 by Wyman. The camp was built in 1937. By 1938, Wyman had moved to Oregon and sold his camp to Mary Lyon of Rumford. In 2001, the estate of the late Mary Lyon sold this camp to Jane and James Chandler of Bryant Pond. Number 29, Thurston Camp, North Pond. In 1927, the Days sold this lot to Frank Thurston of Rumford, who built the camp soon after. After Mr. Thurston died, his son sold the camp in 1964 to Robert and Wilma Day, who rented it out for several years. In 1968, the Days sold the camp to Frank and Elsie Sprague of Rumford. In 1983, Elsie Sprague sold this camp to Roland and Mary McMillan of Rumford. In 1988, the McMillans sold this camp to Richard Moran Jr. of Falmouth, Maine. In 1989, Moran sold to Donald and Patricia Briggs of New Hampshire. Mother-in-law's retreat. Now, the real mother-in-law is set right behind this dock. That's the new camp up and back. There is no picture of the original camp. In 1943, Frank Bean sold this lot to Philip and Phyllis Chapman of Norway. The Chapmans built this camp the same year. In 1944, the Chapmans sold this camp to Harry and Ida Packard. Harry was killed or died in the Bataan Death March. Isla sold this camp in 1964 to her brother-in-law, Mansfield Packard. Mansfield sold in 1967 to John L. Goodale of Dresden, Maine. In 1999, Goodale sold this camp to Frank Packard Jr. In 2002, Frank Jr. deeded to his son, Michael Packard of Portsmouth, who tore down his great-uncle's camp and built a larger camp up behind, as you can see in this picture. Number 31, Lion's Den. The real Lion's Den sat right in the middle between the boathouse and the dock. It burned, and we don't have a picture of it. It was built in 1929. No, in 1929, Sarah Adams of Portland sold this lot next to McCullough Brook to George and Marion Witcher of Berlin, New Hampshire. Around 1935, Sokolectus Newell was hired to build the log cabin and gazebo. That's Sock right there. And that's not the gazebo, but it's one he built. In 1978, George sold his camp to Warren Wilson, Elbert Hopkins, and Raylene Hopkins, all of Bryant Pond. Within a year or two, it had burned. Number 32, Bunny Bungalow. Hugh Hefner once lived here. It was in 1939, the days. When I say the days, I'm referring to George's day and his son Linda's day. So all these must be camp lots on the upper end of the pond of the campus. Anyway, the day sold this lot to John Witcher of Berlin, New Hampshire. Edward and Ray Witcher built Bunny Bungalow soon after. Bunny Bungalow served as a second camp for the Witcher family. In 1966, John Witcher deeded this camp to his daughter Joyce Fish of Vermont. Today the camp remains in the Witcher family. Number 33, Sunset Lodge, Round Pond. In 1909, Lucius Trask. Now Lucius Trask lived in the farmhouse right by Johnny's Bridge, still there today, where Charlie and Kathy Newell lived. He sold this lot to Charles Swift of Saco in 1916. Oh, in 1916, Swift sold this lot to Blanche Wilson of Boston. In 1920, Blanche sold this lot and the Hodgson camp. Now this is a mystery. In the deeds, there is no Hodgson family anywhere. Well, who Hodgson was is a mystery to me, but they call it the Hodgson camp. If anybody knows, let me know. She sold it to John L. Marshall, who owned Camp Echo. In 1921, J.L. Marshall sold this lot and camp to Lynn and Georgia Banan of Berlin, New Hampshire. The Banans family summoned here for many years and changed the name to Sunset Lodge. In 1973, Edward Banan sold the family camp to Shirley and Marilyn Gilbert of Bethel. In 1979, the Gilbert sold to Beverly Matthews. And in 1983, Beverly sold to William and Veronica Riggs of Connecticut. In 1922, the Riggs sold to Harry and Arthur James Brumman of Pennsylvania. And I know it's changed hands twice anyway since then. Number 34, Camp Howell, Round Pond. In 1961, Randall Littlefield sold this lot to, it can't be 1961, must be probably 1941, be more likely. Sold this lot to Fred Howell of Worcester, Mass. In 1995, Fred Howell sold this camp to William Kaplan. Kaplan modified the camp and sold it in 1996 to Robert and Marilyn Switzer of North Reading, Mass. And that date was going to be wrong. Smith Camp. I think it has a name, but we couldn't read it, so. And I don't think Charles Smith it is tonight, so. If anybody can make out that sign as something, camp. It might be Beverly Camp. They came from Beverly, Mass. That's probably Camp Beverly. Don't change that way. In 1927, Susie Edwards sold this lot to George Smith of Beverly, Mass. In 1945, George deeded this camp to Chester and Elizabeth Smith of Beverly. In 1976, Livers deeded this camp to Philip and Morris Smith of Ohio. In 2004, the estate of the late Philip Smith sold this camp to Charles Smith of Ohio, who still owns it. He should be due here anytime. Number 36, Bud Cummins Camp. Bud Cummins Camp, South Lawn. Oscar Weber lost this lot to the town in 1938. In 1940, the town sold this lot to Clarence Cummings of Paris. Bud built this camp, and soon after Bud built this camp soon after, and it remains in the family today. I missed it in 37, 38. Alright. Okay, Arma 37, this is the Herbert Road Camp, South Lawn. Yale Tibbetts sold this lot in 1904 to Herbert C. Rowe, Bethel. And this camp has remained in the Rowe family for many years. And I believe it's part of the lot still belongs to Rowe, but they sold the camp and the lot underneath the camp to Stanley Jacobson in 1967. And this is where the Indian artifacts were discovered down on the big island down by the dock. Lakeview Camp.
The boathouse that was made.
Oh yeah, that's the boathouse. Rose had a boathouse built next to the boat launch. And there was no road on the big island in those days. They had to row a boat all the way, they kept the boathouse, then row all the way down to the big island and back every time they went to camp. But once the causeway got built out on the big island, they kind of abandoned that thing. That was taken over, I think, Arthur Cooley used it for years. And then Johnny Swan used it after that. Okay, number 38, Lakeview Camp. Number 1925, George W. Day and Ernest Day sold this lot to Franklin Robbins of Paris. In 1928, Robbins sold to Percy Mayhew of Paris. The old Ansel Moody house on Moody Mountain was torn down. The lumber was used to build this camp. It was built by Walter Chandler and Frank Kimball. Percy Mayhew died in 1957. The camp was left to Mrs. Mayhew's children, Frank Mayhew, Lena Andrews, Mary Chandler, Beatrice Jackson, and Mildred Rollins. 1985, Beatrice Ella Jackson sold this camp to Ralph Paget of Minnesota and Florida. In 2000, Ralph and Alice Packett of Nashwauk, Minnesota, sold this camp to Paul and Deborah Leo of Hatboro, Pennsylvania. And that's the end of the camps. Any questions? I'll go put that light on.
Anyone has any questions?
Wayne, what's the oldest camp still standing on the lake today?
There's no doubt the very first one. The oldest camp, I think, on the pond is still standing. It's on the little island on South Pond. It's owned by Lenny Shaw on the little island. It was built for the Rowe family years ago in 1990. And it's been modified a lot.
1990 or 1890?
I mean, 1890. There was another camp built that same year. Well, the Perham camp is on Round Pond. Their original camp was built. It was eventually moved back behind the camp. And about 4 years ago, they decided to build a garage, so they tore the old camp down and moved the rubbish. But the third oldest camp was on North Pond, Camp Comfort, 1892. And that's set on a little point, just before, a couple camps before you get to say what lands. It was called the Flag Retreat for years. It's still there today. The Bassett family in Cape Cod owns it. But there's still quite a few camps still remaining of the old ones. A lot of them weren't built till after the war. Yeah. We were discussing it, the trustees were talking the other day. We were discussing what we're going to do for camp program next year. And we're almost up to 1945. It's still a little early because a lot of camps have collected a lot of history money between 45 and now. So before we go back to 45, we're going to move on to perhaps Twitchell or Indian Pond and go back and do the early camps again. And give some of these newer camps time to collect more history. Mine was built in 35, and I don't plan on doing that. I don't plan on ever doing that one.
Which one is your camp on?
Twitchell. Well, I know the Wagner camp. Ben Billings built it, and that goes back to 1907. And Cushman camp was the old church that got moved across the pond. That's quite old. Eichels is another old one. Prawls is old, and I think Cases is quite old. And I think maybe the Goodman camp is on the backside is old. And we got a mystery. Camp Pine Cone and Round Pond was moved from the backside of Twitchell Pond to Round Pond back in the early days, but we don't know where it stood. My grandfather had owned it, and he sold it to Spot Herrick. Spot sold it to Gilbert Coffin, and he dragged it across the ice and up the Greenwood Road. And in there were all the camps now, that big long camps that were all on that peninsula. All the camps are listed. There's no name for that peninsula, but Camp Evergrade's on it. And let's see, the Perham camp is on it. But anyway, that's where I went to. Yeah, this camp, this big double-decker here. Nobody ever saw that camp till just recently.
We had a photograph of that, but we couldn't match it up with which camp it was, and then we found an advertisement, where Randy found it.
It was advertised for rent or for sale, and it was on eBay. So find all sorts of good stuff on eBay, and I remember Will showing me the photograph, and it looked like you could look from the camp, so it was on a point or something, you could look at two lakes at the same time.
Right. Herbie Rowe had already told me that it was a double-decker, the porch, top and bottom, so I didn't admit it when I saw that that's what it had to be.
Had dormers on it, and mentioned it had, I don't know, 5 bedrooms, fireplaces, and this row listed it as out of Bryant Pond.
Yeah.
Either rent or buy.
He was no relation to Herbie.
No.
Herbie remembered that camp. In the early 20s when it was burned mysteriously. He said the owner had only left about a half an hour and was fully engulfed. So a lot of people were a little suspicious.
Blaine, if the dam wasn't there at all, how much lower would all the lakes be?
Oh, probably 20 feet anyway.
This kind of shows the original lines here.
Yeah, the original North Pond was behind the island. Clint Littlefield told me they used to mow hay out to the islands from 26. It's like a meadow. And the last dam put in was 1899, and they added 4 more feet to it. But every time they built a new dam, they just kept making them higher to get more water power. But, yeah, they had quite a fracas there when they kept dropping the water around the mill on water power. You bang it coming up your camp, and the mud flat up there also, they didn't go down too well. And Round Pond was almost round. But all the lakes spilled over in each other, and now it's pretty fragmented now.